For most people, getting stung by a bee isn't a big deal. Yeah, it hurts and sure, the bee dies. But to most people, the process is more of a nuisance than a serious cause for alarm. Now, if you're allergic, that's a whole different story. But what if you were stung by an animal that's not a bee, but instead something much worse or even deadly? From a paper-making wasp to a colorful sea creature, I present to you the top 10 most painful animal stings.
Amazing!
Number 10. Paper wasp. Paper wasps, named for the nests they create that resemble primitive paper, can be commonly found all over the world. Unlike the hornet and yellow jacket, paper wasps are one of the calmer members of the wasp family. Of course, they'll still react if threatened, and are found from Europe to China and even in North America. Interactions between paper wasps and humans are quite common and can result in a painful sting at best and an array of symptoms from swelling to cardiac arrest, depending on the level of the person's level of reaction. Someone who is allergic to wasps, or who manages to be stung by multiple individuals, can even die from this pollen-eating insect. Unlike bees, wasps can sting you multiple times without dying. So why haven't we wiped these jerks off the face of the planet yet? Well, aside from the fact that their sheer numbers make that impossible, these insects are actually quite useful and contribute by eating pest insects, cleaning up waste foods, and pollinating various plants. Number 9. Platypus. The platypus is weird, it's funky, and it's one of the few Australian animals you wouldn't expect to be able to kill you. Well, you'd probably be right. There have been no known human fatalities caused by the duck-billed mammal, but as it turns out, this egg-laying oddity also happens to be one of the few mammals left on the planet that still has venom. This archaic survival aid is unique to males of the species, with females lacking the rear foot spurs necessary to deliver what is often described as an excruciating sting. The poison of this crazy little creature is so painful, it can incapacitate livestock like cows and can easily bring down a grown man to his knees. In fact, it's not uncommon for this little guy to cause nerve and tissue damage that lasts for months. But we can rest easy knowing that males only secrete this venom during breeding season, suggesting that this adaptation is used more in the conquest of mates than in self-defense. Number 8. Tarantula hawk. The Schmidt Sting Pain Index is a scale of 0 to 4, with 0 being a sting completely ineffective against humans, and 2 being the pinch of a honeybee. But there are only 2 insects on the planet that have earned themselves the top spot of a level 4 on the Sting Index. Sitting at the top of this list with the aptly named bullet ant is an insect whose sting is so painful, the only thing experts say you can do is lie down and start screaming. The tarantula hawk is neither a bird nor an arachnid, but is instead a whopping 2-inch long wasp, found all over the world from North and South America to Asia, Africa, and of course, Australia. This insect gets its name from its habit of paralyzing giant spiders in order to lay its eggs on the unfortunate victim. The larva hatches and slowly devours the still paralyzed tarantula alive. And you thought your kid was a terror. Thankfully for humans, the effects of this animal's sting only last 3 unbearable minutes. Number 7. Ants. At an estimated 1 million ants for each human being in the world, ants are one of, if not the most well-populated family of insects on the planet. They can be found everywhere except Antarctica, the Arctic, and a handful of isolated islands. The commonly known ants like carpenters and those little black jerks we battle in our kitchens every spring are generally just annoying, but not every ant is so harmless. A type of harvester ant, found commonly in Arizona, is considered to be the most poisonous insect in the world. Pain from its sting can last hours with residual effects for days. But what makes this ant so dangerous is its propensity to swarm other victims like a beehive, resulting in certain death. Then you have the truly well-named bullet ant of South America. This insect has become infamous for a sting so painful it feels like being shot. If you thought a bar mitzvah was bad, boys of the Satermaui tribe must stick their hands into a mitt filled with bullet ants to prove their manhood. Number 6. Amazon giant centipede. The Amazon giant centipede might not be able to hold a candle to its ancient cousin Arthroplura when it comes to size, but this creepy crawly is still huge by today's standards, at 10 to 12 inches long. For reference, that's longer than most people's heads. It's so big, in fact, that it regularly preys on birds, frogs, and even rats. This animal is quick on its feet, all 23 sets of them that is. Like many of its kind, it is ill-tempered and an aggressive hunter with jaws strong enough to easily puncture human skin. Which is unfortunate since this bug packs one hell of a wallop. A bite from one of these guys can cause dizziness, fever, heart irregularities, and breathing difficulty. It's put most people in the hospital and is responsible for the death of a very unlucky 4-year-old girl. Despite all this, a few brave souls actually keep these creepy crawlies as pets. Imagine cuddling that face. Number 5. Gila monster. The Gila monster is North America's largest species of lizard and just might be one of the most important reptiles in the world. This tough-as-nails Arizona native is normally content to just chill on a rock somewhere in the sun, but if you're stupid enough to threaten this desert resident, you're in for one nasty experience. When this lizard bites, it hangs on, chewing on you for up to 10 minutes to work its toxins up the grooves in its teeth and into the wound. Victims can look forward to nausea, vomiting, muscle weakness, and full body aches, along with high blood pressure and sometimes severe breathing difficulties. Yay! Amazingly, there have been few human fatalities. Some people even keep these dangerous animals as pets. But as painful as their bite can be, the venom of this amazing creature has been used to create medicine for type 2 diabetics and might even hold a way to fight the progression of Alzheimer's. Number 4. Arizona bark scorpion. It would appear that Arizona is North America's version of Australia with all the deadly venomous animals that live there. It just so happens that the Arizona bark scorpion is the most poisonous scorpion in the country. A sting from this angry land crab is described as immediately electric and can cause vomiting, numbness at the sting site, and tingling. The effects usually last around 24 hours, but it is not uncommon for them to persist up to 3 days. Severe reactions are not unheard of, including paralysis of the body part that was stung, frothing at the mouth, and convulsions. Due to the development of an antivenom serum by the Arizona State University, only 2 people in Arizona have died as a result of this scorpion since 1968. Mexico, however, has not been so lucky, with over 800 fatalities recorded in the 1980s alone. Number 3. Stonefish. The stonefish, found along the coast of Australia and Singapore, is the most venomous fish known to mankind. It is an ambush predator that finds itself a cozy spot in the sand near the shoreline and waits, sometimes for days, until a prey item comes along. A lack of scales and wart-covered skin makes for the perfect camouflage. It can even bury itself with only its eyes and mouth above the sand. Combine that with the fact that it can even survive out of water for up to 24 hours, and it couldn't care less about being stuck out during low tide, and you've got a disastrous recipe for human-to-stonefish contact. Stepping on the barbs along this fish's spine has been known to kill. For the most part, symptoms include stabbing pain, swelling, and white flesh at the sting site, tingling, breathing issues, seizures, and even cardiac arrest. If you manage to survive the sting, you have 24 to 48 hours of pure hell to look forward to, and weeks of nerve damage to come. Number 2. Box jellyfish. The box jellyfish is an invertebrate so deadly that even the tiniest amount of its venom can cause the human heart to seize and even stop within just a few minutes. They accomplish this fatal feat by essentially harpooning their victims with tiny stinging spears called nematocysts. Once under the skin, these hollow barbs pump poison into the bloodstream where it travels quickly to the heart. An estimated more than 100 people die each year after being stung by these dangerous animals, with up to 40 of these deaths occurring in the Philippines alone. Remind me not to go swimming in the North Pacific. What makes these deceivingly cute sea blobs even more terrifying is that unlike your average jellyfish, box jellyfish can actually swim and have 24 eyes of varying sophistication to detect objects in their path. Great! So not only can they see you, but they could chase you if they wanted to. It's a good thing they eat fish instead of fingers. Number 1. Fire urchin. The fire urchin is barely 1.5 inches long and quite beautiful with its bright coloration. However, this tiny inconspicuous creature hides a deadly secret. The fire urchin is the most deadly sea urchin on the planet. A sting from this animal's many spines is not just incredibly painful, it's deadly. Paralysis, breathing issues, and complete cardiac arrest are just some of the possible outcomes of this animal's sting. Forget getting help, you're dead. And it's not limited to just stinging you with its poison sac-tipped spines. This animal has hundreds if not thousands of little mouths, each one capable of piercing through your skin and injecting venom that way. Thankfully, the bright colors of these sea urchins make them quite visible to divers. Have you ever been stung? What was your most painful sting? And was there a painful sting we didn't cover? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing fact-filled videos. Thanks for watching!